Joints January, day 18. Today we're going to be training the shoulder joints at a moderate to high intensity. I'd like you to start on your back. Make sure you have something that can support your head. That could be a foam roller, a block, a pillow, something about this height. So lie on your back, arms out to the side. You can now place whatever you have under your head. And I would like you to first roll over onto your left side. So your right arm comes over the left. It reaches past the left. And then my right arm goes up to my chest. I bend my left arm. I start to move my left palm to the floor. And then I take my right hand and push it right down on my forearm. Now we're gonna stay here for about a minute so I can explain a few things to make sure we're in the right position, because this one has a few more details. You wanna make sure your palm is facing straight down and that your knuckles are up and that you're not rotated to either side. You wanna make sure, and this is the biggest thing, that you have weight on the back of your shoulder. And how I like to get people to do that is lift your ribs off the ground. You're gonna feel more weight pop up onto your shoulder. It's very likely if you lift your ribs and you have space to put your hands under your torso or your rib cage, that you're gonna have a lot of weight on the shoulder. So just get your legs where they're comfortable. And you're gonna begin to push down on that forearm with the right hand. And you're gonna feel maybe a stretch in the shoulder. It might be a feeling of discomfort. This is quite an uncomfortable position. It might be a stretch on the back side, the front side. There's many different places you can feel it, but we're targeting the back side of the shoulder. So we're just gonna stretch here for a few more seconds. And then I'm gonna press down harder with my right hand into my left forearm. So I'm pushing more toward my left hand, more toward the ground. And I'm gonna push back up with my left hand into my right, but I don't want my left hand to push my right hand up. I want the right hand to be pushing hard enough down that my left hand didn't actually move once I started pushing up into my right. So it's like the right hand is trapping the left hand there. I'm pushing at about a 5 or 6 out of 10. I want to up that to a 7 or 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10, so now working really hard. I want you to push up with that left as hard as possible. Keep lifting the ribs. Push up harder, harder. For 5, 4, 3, 2, immediately squeeze your left arm, so all the muscles in your left arm, and start to pull, without the right hand, start to pull your left palm to the ground. Now you might not actually see or feel the left arm move, but you're trying to arm wrestle yourself to the floor. So I have a ton of tension within my arm. I'm trying to pull my palm left side to the floor. Work harder at that. Work even harder. Keep trapping the back of your left shoulder down by lifting the rib cage. Keep trying to pull your left palm to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Now keep squeezing your left arm. Everything from the forearm, the fist, the bicep, and the tricep. Bring your knuckles down to the floor. So that's called external rotation. Now internally rotate the arm. So that arm wrestling again. Externally rotate. Internally rotate. We'll do one more of each. If you can reach your knuckles to the floor, push into the floor. Squeeze your arm, push the tricep, so that underside of your arm into the ground. And relax. So onto your back. That pillow or whatever you're using under your head still, arms out to the side. This time roll over onto your right, so the left hand reaches over the right. My left hand should reach past my right hand. Now take your left hand out of the way, bend your right elbow, forearm faces up, and then reach the palm for the ground. Take your left hand and place it on the forearm. And we'll just quickly, on this side, go over the same things as we did on the left. Lift your rib cage. That traps the back of the right shoulder down. Make sure we're properly rotated at the forearm, so my palm is facing toward the ground.
and then start to push down with the left hand. We'll stay in this stretch. Because we got into position a little faster, we'll stay in the stretch just a bit longer, so about 30 seconds. Keep lifting the rib cage off the floor. You should be able to pass like a credit card or a letter under your rib cage, so there's a bit of space between you and the floor. But that shoulder is firmly trapped down. That is what we want. So when that shoulder is firmly pressed down, that means we can't cheat once we start to do our pushes. That shoulder coming up is just, that's movement coming from where we don't want it to occur. So I'm going to push down a little bit harder with my left hand into my right forearm, and then start to push up with my right arm into my left hand. But I'm pushing down with my left hard enough that I'm not actually, my right didn't move my left hand. Pushing at a 5 or 6 out of 10. I want to now up that to a 7 or 8 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Now push as hard as you can. So that right is pushing up into that left as hard as possible. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Now squeeze everything in your right arm and try to arm wrestle your own palm to the floor. Keep lifting the ribs so the back of the shoulder's on the ground. Arm wrestle harder. Try to pull that palm closer to the floor. So I'm trying to get my hand to the ground. Harder for 5. Keep the ribs lifted for 3, 2. Keep everything squeezed and reach the knuckles to the floor, externally rotating. Internally rotate as far as possible. Again, that arm wrestling motion. Externally rotate, push the knuckles down if you can. Internally rotate. We'll do one more of each. Externally rotate. Internally rotate. Try to reach down a little bit further. 3, 2, 1. Right, relax.